Hello everyone. Gagwego Scano, Oge Jangwa Gagwego, Jo Hioaje od Gunonyo. Da Ona Dangudio Guad, De An Od Neojan, Hanwe, Ganon de Guete. Today is September the 30th, a day when Native communities across the United States and Canada gather to remember the survivors and show respect and support to the survivors of Indian residential boarding schools that operated across both countries for more than a century. The schools, which were operated and supported by federal and state governments and religious and private organizations, existed to advance an effort of assimilation amongst Native communities. That is simply a way of saying generations of elected and other officials tried to remove any semblance of Native heritage and identity from tens of thousands of Native children by force, by manipulation, and all too often by violence. Traditional languages, culture, even their names were systematically stripped away from so many students. Many we know never returned home, and many others continue to carry their pain with them to this day. Beyond the trauma and pain suffered by the individuals, the disintegration of native languages and the strain caused to family structures have shaped and scarred Native communities for generations. In a report issued earlier this year by the Department of Interior, the United States government acknowledged the operation of 408 schools at 431 sites in 37 states with the support of the federal government. According to the Department of Interior, the government's boarding school policy sought the quote, to assimilate them and consequently take their territories. Earlier this year, Pope Francis traveled to Canada, where today is a federal statutory holiday known as National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, and he acknowledged the Catholic Church's role in operating those boarding schools. Reports and apologies only go so far, and we must continue to push and demand for greater recognition and atonement for the terror forced upon so many Native children. Today we join with Native communities across the United States and Canada in making a statement and bringing more awareness to the horrific chapter in history. We will hold a remembrance and healing event for Seneca community members from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Sully Huff Heritage Center here in Cattaraugus. In Niagara Falls, Seneca Gaming Corporation will hold its second annual Every Child Matters Walk beginning at 5:30 p.m. I hope that many of you will take part in either event so that as one Seneca community, we can give voice to the experience of the victims and survivors and help shoulder some of their pain. In other developments, we recently had our latest meeting with New York Governor's team regarding the Gaming Compact. So far, we've been able to reach some early agreements on logistics and some general matters. However, we fully expect that this will be a long and deliberate process. There are many substantive issues to discuss in the weeks and months ahead. Our focus remains crystal clear. The Seneca Nation deserves and demands a fair compact that properly addresses the significant changes to the gaming landscape, recognizes our role in Western New York's economy, and secures the future competitiveness of our casino gaming enterprise. The nation is also aware of a recent settlement agreement between two private tobacco manufacturers and the state of New York. We know our opponents from outside governments will always look for ways to attack and exploit our economy through unlawful taxation, and the settlement agreement culminates a targeted campaign against some of the cigarettes you see imported onto our lands. The nation continues to monitor the fallout of the settlement agreement to ensure that no harm is caused to our economy. The state's intrusions into the nation's economy will always be a fight, and the Seneca Nation will always be ready to fight those attacks on behalf of our people. As we head into October, we continue to keep an eye on our COVID numbers, as many communities have seen a recent rise in the number of cases. Currently, we have 35 active cases in our community, 16 in Allegheny and 19 in Cattaraugus. Please continue to monitor yourself and your loved ones, and please get tested if you're experiencing any symptoms. Bluestone testing appointments for Senecas can be made by calling 716-220-2442. The Seneca Nation Health System continues to offer COVID vaccines and boosters, as well as the flu vaccine for all eligible individuals and age groups. To make your appointment, please call Kim Bradley in Cattaraugus Health at 716-532-5582, or Terry Cowles at Allegheny Health at 716-945-5894. Looking ahead to next week, Our October council meeting will take place on Saturday, October the 8th at 9:30 a.m. in the William Seneca building here in Cattaraugus. Finally, I want to recognize 3 members of our SGC team, all Senecas, who were recently honored by Buffalo Business First. Dr. Lori Quigley, the chairwoman of the SGC Board of Directors and interim president at Medaille University, was recently named one of the winners of the 2022 Women of Influence Awards. Jason Crane, SGC Senior Vice President and General Counsel, was honored as one of the 2022 C-Level Executives of the Year Award winners. And Josh Howard, the company's Learning and Development Manager, was selected as part of this year's class of 40 Under 40 award winners. Jago, Lori, Jason, and Josh, for your well-deserved recognition, your contributions to SGC's success, and the example you set for others through your hard work and your accomplishments. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe, stay strong. Donnie Hodier.